Welcome to Black Talk Show. I have with me Miss Tammy Griffin. She's running for school board place 2. Uh, Tammy, can I get you to share something your personal and professional background and what motivates you to run for the school board?
Yes, you can. Thank you for inviting me on your show, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to just tell everyone hello and just tell everyone my name is Tammy Griffin. I'm from Silsbee. I have lived here almost my entire life. I was a teacher in the school district for 23 years, teaching our kids in Silsbee. I'm a graduate of Silsbee. My kids are a graduate of Silsbee. I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree, all from Lamar University. And I retired in 2020 from Silsbee, and I just feel like I've had the call to stand up and maybe just be a voice for our teachers on the school board and someone that has been in the trenches per se with the teachers and not been out of there for very long. And I just feel like I can be a good representative for the community, to be a voice for the teachers and the kids, because that is what we need on the school board right now.
Yes. So let me ask you another question. What specific skills, experience do you believe that you bring to benefit the school district?
Um, well, one, like I said, I feel like I have a lot of experience with the ins and outs of the school district, just being in education for as long as I have been. I have a total of 31 years total in
Yes.
education. I worked at Lamar before I was a teacher, so I've been kind of on the business side of things. I've been,
Mhm.
in the classroom. I have an administrative degree. I've been on several committees. I know the ins and outs, of what can be done and what can't be done there. And I also feel like I'm retired, so I
Mhm.
have a lot of time and I
Yes.
love
Okay.
to learn. And with all the changes that are getting ready to happen, I
Mhm.
feel like nationwide that's going to trickle down to statewide, within that's going to trickle on down to the local level, that I'll
Mhm.
be able to stay on top of and abreast of all the changes that are going to be happening, and be able to attend different trainings or just educate myself on the laws and the rules and the policies that's going to ultimately affect our school district right here in Silsbee.
Okay. So can you tell me what do you see as the primary challenges that currently facing Silsbee ISD, and how do you plan to address them?
Um, I Some of the challenges that I think Silsbee faces right now is retention of teachers. I
Mhm.
feel like we lack in that area, but I really don't think that's a reflection back on so much as the school district as it is our community.
Uh-huh.
Because unless you are from a small town or someone local, and this is where you want to come back and raise your family, which I very much encourage new teachers and young people to do, because I love living in the small town, just like you and I were talking before we
Yeah.
went. Neither
Yeah.
one of us have ever left here. We've been here,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
can't imagine being anywhere else. But we're not going to attract the recent graduates from the big schools that's from the big city, because our
Yeah.
town just doesn't offer the life that
Mhm.
that they think they want.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so I think the retention of our teachers is one of the utmost important things. And the other thing is, I really feel like we need to improve our facilities in the district, because
Okay.
if we don't have the top facilities, then the teachers aren't going to be happy teaching there. And if the teachers aren't going to be happy teaching there, it's not going to overflow into the education that they're giving the kids.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Kind of
So
like a trickle down effect.
yeah. So how do you define student success, and what measures would you advocate for ensure all students achieve it? Because I know we have the STAR test, and
We we do have the STAR test, and that That's mandated from the state.
So
And so, do what?
What can we do local?
What can we do local?
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the biggest things that we could do local is as we're one thing we could do local is maybe help our teachers learn how to be a little bit more free in their teaching, and not so much as just teaching to the test, but maybe bringing in some like local things into their teaching. Per se, like if you're teaching a literacy lesson, let's not talk about something that's happening in New York City, because our community is about 62% economically disadvantaged. I've never been to New York City. I mean, none of my grandkids have, and they attend school here. We need to bring in more cultural things that's local to our community so that they can relate to it when we're teaching. And that's what I used to do when I was teaching, is I would try my best to make it relatable, because to me, that's how kids learn the best, is if they totally understand the whole thing. Make it fun. Make it fun for them.
Yeah, okay. So how do you feel about the current curriculum standards? And we just talked about the STAR. Are there any areas you believe need improvement or change?
Well, like I said, that's something that is, comes down from the federal, and then it feeds down to the state, and then the state has like three. They have the TEA, they have the State Board of Education, that and the commissioner, that all work together to decide what our policies and standards are that we have to follow. And it all comes down to get the funding, you have to do certain things. And so I'm really hoping that we're going to see a shift in education where a lot of that's going to change, and we're going to be able to get back to the basics of teaching, reading, math, science, history, so that we're building a strong foundation. That's what we have to do. And it all stems back to like early intervention, like the pre-K and kindergarten level. If you don't have a strong foundation down there and build on it as we go, when they get up in the higher grades, it's going to crumble. But just like anything you build, if you don't have a strong foundation, it's going to tumble over.
Yeah. So what are the top three priorities you'll do for the district if you're elected?
My top three priorities for the district is, number one is the kids. The kids is the most important thing. If it's not for the benefit of the students and the kids, and it's not something that the community, a need or a concern of the community, then I think it should be put in the back. The next thing is the teachers. If the teachers aren't happy, the kids aren't going to be happy. And then the third thing is the facilities. The facilities really need to. We need to revisit. And I hate to say this word, but the bond issue. I mean, maybe approach it differently than we did before, since it didn't pass last time. But we definitely need to upgrade some of our facilities.
Okay. So let's see what else. So what are your things about bilingual education or support of the English language learning?
Well, I actually have a certification in ESL, English as a Second Language, and I had several of those students that I taught over the years, and I feel that our school district does a very well job of supporting those kids in our school district and in our community.
Okay. Go back to my question. Okay, so let's see. What are your stance on incorporating technology in the classroom? How would you support teachers in integrating it effectively?
We have a lot of technology in our classrooms. Sometimes I think too much technology is not a good thing. And I feel that we have enough technology outside of the classroom right now. That as long as the technology that we're using in the classroom stays up to date.
Yeah.
And, as the kids get older, like in the upper grades, it's up to date so that when they're getting out of school, they're current with their technology knowledge. But, like I'm going to go back to the foundation in the lower grades. I really think the technology needs to be limited. I think that it needs to be more hands-on. It needs to be more interactive teaching, interactive learning, more on those basics, reading. I don't know if people know this, but Texas right now, whenever they rank the schools, nationwide, in literacy, which is like our reading, there's 50 states. Texas is ranked number 48.
Yeah.
That's sad. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that, but we're number 38. Number 38. And I mean number 48. We're 38 in overall, but we're number 48 in literacy. And that's sad. We don't want to be number 48. We want to be number 1.
Yeah. We got to get there somehow.
We have got to go back to the basics of reading, writing, and math. I mean, we do.
Yeah. So how do you propose to address diverse learning in special need kids or gifted programs or kids in between, or how do you think how you need to address that?
Once again, that comes back to like federal laws and state laws when it comes to the things you have to do and can't do and need to do for those students. And overall, Silsbee, and I know this from a personal standpoint, has one of the best special education programs in all of Region 5. We have kids that come in from outside of our district, wanting to be in the Silsbee Independent School District because of our all the opportunities that the special ed kids and the gifted students can receive in our district. So I feel like we're really doing a great job in when it comes to that area in our district.
So, given the budget constraints, how would you prioritize funding to ensure essential programs and services are maintained?
I think right now that's an unknown, just because of all of the changes that are, proposed for not locally for our future, but just on all levels. If the Department of Education goes away and everything goes back to the states, so now the states are going to have to decide how are we going to allocate the funds, where are they going to go, and then that's going to trickle down to the local area. And what's most of our money for the school district comes from our property taxes. So now that's going to fall on us as the taxpayers and the Texans, paying for these programs and services. And so I don't know. That's kind of an unknown, I think, right now.
So since you're talking about that, how do you feel about the voucher?
I knew that was coming. I'm going to say this. I have reached out to our representative, Ms. Holt, and I have done a lot of research. I'm waiting on a call back from her to get. I just want to know. I've read the Senate bill. I've read the House bill, and I can't honestly give an answer on how the vouchers are going to affect us. And I don't think anyone can just yet, because we as in, the people, the taxpayers, we don't really understand. And I don't think even the writers of the bill understand exactly how it's going to work yet. Ultimately, what I think is going to happen is I think it is going to make the school districts become very competitive, because they are going to want to keep the students that they have in their district. So then that's going to cause your district to want to be the best, to strive to be better. So then we go back to teacher retention and improving our facilities so that we can be one of the best school districts that kids want to stay in. Because if the vouchers does pass and we lose
the funding,
we lose the fund. Yeah, if we lose the student, we lose the funding. And if we lose the funding and we don't get students to replace that funding, then that's when we're going to be in trouble. I don't think the trouble is going to be something immediate that we're going to see, in the next year or two. But over a period of time, if Silsbee doesn't become the best in our area, then there's a possibility, that we could lose students and then we lose funding and then it just happens.
Yeah.
Kind of going to be like a snowball.
Yeah.
And not a good one.
Not a good one, yeah. And if it affects, a lot of that funding helps kids that don't have food at home and all these, it affects a lot of things, I hope.
Right, it does. I mean, it goes to transportation, it goes to food, it goes to special ed services. I mean, all areas. There's a lot of unknowns right now. And I don't mean to just keep saying, well, that's unknown or I don't know, but it is a lot of unknowns right now just because everything is, up in the air. And I just think we're going to just have to do the best we can with what we know.
Yeah. So how do you plan on involving parents and teachers and the community members in decision-making processes when you have school board meetings and decisions?
One of the things to involve people is to be open to suggestions. Lots of opportunities for different committees for people to, there's all kinds of opportunities for people in the community to join committees through with the school. To help plan things, to change things. When we're going to build new facilities, they involve business leaders and community members to be on those committees. And I think the person that goes on to the school board in this position needs to understand that they need to be an active listener to the concerns of the community and not going on there with ideas of their own and thinking they're going to change the world, because it's not about you. You're going on a team and, you're going to be working as a team to make these decisions.
Yeah. And it's for the kids. It's not
it's for the kids and the teachers and the concerns of the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not for them, then it shouldn't be something that is even considered.
Yeah, because that was a question I had. Well, I had a situation where a personal belief conflicts with the need and desires of the community. That's when you'll run into some trouble, especially on a board.
Correct. And I actually have an answer for that.
Okay.
And I put in there that it is crucial to prioritize the community needs while placing the best interest of the students first.
Okay.
The best interest of the students needs to be first when you're anything that's coming from the community. Yeah. So even if I don't think, that's a great idea. Well, if it's for the benefit of the kids and if it's what the community wants, then, it's worth listening to and visiting and seeing what we can do about it.
Yes. So what is your understanding of the role of the school board member and how do you envision working collaboratively with other board members and the superintendent?
Well, the rules of a school board it's a team of 8. It's 7 board members and the superintendent. And you're really only in the capacity of being a board member when there's actually a school board meeting in progress. Yeah. That's the only time you're like an actual board member.
Yeah.
And the board member's job, a lot of people think, well, the board can do this and they can give teacher, if they want to give the teacher a raise, they can go right in there and give the teacher a raise. Well, that's not true.
Yeah.
Really, all they do is there's about 5 things that they have to do. And that is they need to adopt policy, and they need to adopt the goals and the priorities. They hire and review the superintendent. They review the budget. They set the tax rate, and they ensure accountability and make sure that the taxpayers' dollars are being spent appropriately.
Yes.
And communicate with the community.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a school board does. They're kind of like the liaison, I feel, between the school and the community. Per se, like if you don't have a student going to school, you might not know everything that's going on at the school. But you're still a taxpayer and you're paying your school taxes. And so you need a voice.
Yeah.
And there's always the opportunity to go to the school board meetings and speak. That's always an opportunity for you to do that. And I think that goes back to the communication with the community. Some people just might not know that's an option.
Yeah. So what initiatives would you support to address student mental health and well-being?
One of the things that we need to do for that is I think there needs to be more individualized and group counseling available for kids, and maybe let the counselors actually get to counsel a little bit more and not have to be so much focused on testing and discipline and doing other things that they are required to do.
Yeah.
If they could do more counseling with students, I think that would alleviate some of the discipline problems that we have.
Yeah.
And then that's going to improve some of the overall health and well-being of our people.
Yeah. Might improve test scores and grades too.
I definitely think it would. And then that's going to improve our rating, and then we're getting a better school district.
Yeah. So how would you ensure the school provide a safe and exclusive environment for all students?
For all students, I think we need to have a connection with the kids and the community. We need to show compassion for all kids and understand everyone's individuality.
Yeah.
We need to be caring and considerate of others. We need to find ways to cope with the things that aren't going, like they should.
Yeah. So now let's talk about what are your views on teachers' compensation and professional development?
I think that teacher compensation needs to be increased in our district, because that goes back to teacher retention, and why we are losing so many teachers is we're not one of the higher paying districts in our area.
Yeah.
And I think professional development is a little bit overrated sometimes. I think I'm being serious there. When I was teaching, I would think, I don't want to do this. And, but that goes back to like state laws and federal laws and what you have to do and get so many hours and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So that was how you address teachers' retention and recruitment challenges in the district. How would you address it?
One of the things about teacher retention would come back to, like I said, about increasing our pay, making better facilities, and we're just going to have to recruit local until our community, grows or improves a little bit. We, we don't have any big businesses here with a big tax backbone like some of the other larger districts around us have. And I think that hurts us. But I don't think that's anything about the school district so much as just, the community. I think our biggest thing is we've got to keep our teachers happy to make them want to stay. And to do that, we've got to improve the discipline of the kids in the district and improve the facilities.
Okay. So how do you plan to promote equity and inclusion with the Silsbee ISD?
I really believe that our school does a fairly good job of
Mm-hmm.
promoting that right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have programs for the different ethnicities that we have in our area, and I just, and I think we do a good representation of everything in our community and involving the community in the programs and different things that we have at the school.
Okay. So what measures would you advocate to close the achievement gaps among different student groups?
I think we need some targeted intervention with the
Mm-hmm.
kids, and that is going to also go back to early intervention, back to that
Mm-hmm.
foundation. If we could intervene at the, I know we started the all day pre-K program.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to even expand it a little bit more. And if we expand that a little bit more, well, that's more kids in the district. You know what I'm saying? That's a few
Yes.
more kids that we're going to bring into the district. So then more funding. And then they're going to be more kindergarten ready.
Yeah.
And that's going to improve on building that foundation. If you don't close the gaps early, they're not going to get closed.
Yes.
Because as the kid gets older and older and they start to see, their gaps from them to their friends, if you're reading out loud and they know they can't read out loud, well,
Yeah.
then when your behavior problems come in. So it all
Mm-hmm.
goes back to the early intervention.
Yes. Yes. So how would you prioritize resources allocated to ensure all schools have what they need to succeed? So I know said we need new facility, need some work or new facilities, or what about the school books or the anything like that? Do you think there's any improvement in those areas? Or
I think that goes back to teachers and students first. I think we need to take care of our teachers
mm-hmm.
and take care of our students and focus more on our money going to the teachers and the students and not so much on just more and more curriculum materials and testing materials. And
Yeah.
let's utilize what we have. And
Yeah.
I mean, we've got some really good teachers, and if we would give them the ability to be a little bit more, have a little bit more freedom in their classroom with teaching, I think that it's going to go a long way.
Yes. Uh, so how do you see Silsbee ISD in the next 5 to 10 years, and what steps would you take towards that vision? Take to achieve that vision.
Um, let me see. I have on there that that we really need to. It goes back to we need to be the premier learning environment
Mm-hmm.
in this area.
Yeah.
Especially if the vouchers do pass and the funding goes to changing. If we're, like I said, if we are not the best in our area, then we're going to lose kids. And as we lose kids, we're going to lose funding. And as we lose funding, I think eventually the small, not Silsbee, I'm not saying Silsbee, but some of the really small rural districts
Mm-hmm.
is not going to survive because they're not going to have any money. They're
Yeah.
not going to have any money. So we've got to become the best. We've
Mm-hmm.
got to become one of the premier learning environments in our area.
Okay, so how do you plan to prepare the students for challenges of the future, including college and career readiness? So I know we have those programs at the school now. They take college courses, and some of them graduate.
We do. We have the early college high school
Mhm.
program, which they get to graduate with an associate's degree when they graduate from high school, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to feed back to, we're 62% economically disadvantaged in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was teaching at the middle school, I actually was teaching a career readiness class to get kids ready, for high school to see what path they were going to take.
Mm-hmm.
So many of our kids, they don't want to go to college. They don't want to go get a 4-year degree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because we have LIT here. We have the cosmetology program. You know, the cosmetology schools right here in Silsbee.
Mm-hmm.
What I would love to see is it's called CTE, the Career Technology Education. I really would love to see that program grow and us get more hands-on learning for those kids that don't want to get a 4-year degree and they only want to get a 2-year degree, like the process operator. Let them graduate with a process operator degree, or let them graduate. I know we offer a lot of certificates now at the high school as well. And so I think that's one of the ways that we can get ready for them to be out in the world.
And I heard a grandparent was talking about nail tech. I know that's that they might not want to go into college, but they want to be a nail tech. She said her granddaughter's in I think the fourth or fifth grade in Jasper. They teach that to them already.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I know we have the cosmetology school, right here in Silsbee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the ins and outs of what it would go, what would entail to get a partnership with them possibly, but I mean, it's right here. That would be amazing if we could do something like that, because they do nail tech there, and they do hair, facials and everything. So I would have to check into that. I don't even know. Some of our students might go there now, in high school, might have the opportunity to go there now and get a certificate. I'm not real sure.
Okay. So now let me ask you, what do you believe sets you apart from the other candidates running for this election or this position?
First of all, I'm going to say that there are 4 of us running for this place, and I do feel that out of the 4 of us, no matter who you choose, you're going to get a good person on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that I might have a little bit of an advantage just because of my background in education. Like I said, I have 31 years in the education field. Whenever I was first interviewed, when I came to Silsbee, and they interviewed me for the Silsbee Bee, and he asked me, he said, "What are you going to be teaching?" I looked at him and I said, "Kids. I'm going to teach kids."
Mm-hmm.
And that was my answer, because, and that's how I've always felt as I was a teacher. I've touched thousands of lives, and I know I've made a difference in some just because I've had parents and I've had grandparents and I've had kids reach out to me, after they've graduated and tell me things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have a soft spot in my heart for kids. And I think an education is the one thing in life that you can get that's most important, and it also can never be taken away from you.
Yes.
It's the only thing in your life that can't be taken away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe that my background in education is going to help me be the strongest person to move on to the board out of the candidates that are running, to be a strong voice for the kids and the teachers and our community.
Okay. Yeah, I have Ellie wants to just shout out Grammy.
Oh, that's my granddaughter. Hey, Ellie. She's one of our pre-K students in our district. Okay. Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. So let's tell you want to share anything else about your platform? What is your goals, or what you plan on doing while you if you win that spot as the next school board place 2? What is your goals when you first start?
My goals when I first start is to be a face for the school board, and to get out there and let the community know that I am on there for them, and they're the ones that chose me. and that I want to be a good representative of them and for them to let me know what their concerns are so that, we can address them and move forward on and make them happen.
Yes.
I'm retired. I have lots of time to commit to this. It wasn't something that I took lightly. I did a lot of prayers and thinking about it before, I made the final decision to run and to do this. And I'm just all about, being a good steward for our community.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Well, now we have Cash say, "Hey,
Oh my
Grammy, you're
goodness.
doing great."
Thank you, Cash.
Yeah. So, I thank you for coming on the show. You have done well. So, if you decide to come back, I'll do some more interviews in April. So, if you want to come back
Okay.
on the show and
I
talk to
do want to add this real quick on the end. I've had a couple of people ask me, they've seen some of my signs out and they said, well, how do you vote? And so, well, okay, that's a red flag. They're not even a registered voter. So I was going to say, if you plan to vote in this local election, which is May 3rd, you need to be registered to vote by April the 3rd. And you can get I checked today, and they have some voter registration cards at the post office. You can print one offline, or you can go to the second door after you walk in the courthouse on the left-hand side, and they can get you signed up right there. And so that's your options to get registered to vote. So get out there and get registered to vote so that you can, be a voice. And
yeah. And so, what are the dates for early voting and
early voting dates start? Let me see. I wrote that down right here. Early voting begins April 21st and goes through April 29th, and election day is actually May 3rd. Okay. So for early voting in person is the 21st through the 29th. And then election is May 3rd, a Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that information.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. So everybody, y'all heard her here. So go get yourself registered to vote and go out and cast your ballot.
Do your civic duty.
Yeah, do your civic duty. Yeah. So I thank you for coming on. I enjoyed.
Thank you for having me, Tina. Thank you.
I want to give y'all each of y'all an opportunity to tell the people what y'all y'all gonna show as for the community, what y'all gonna be doing for the community, which y'all and you told it what the school board does, so they even an added bonus, so they'll know. If they know now, if they don't know now, they need to go back and watch.
Now they know.
Now they know, yeah, what the school board actually does and what you do. Because sometimes people don't really know what the school board does.
Correct.
So yeah, so it was good getting that information out to the voters.
Thank you.
I thank you, and you have a blessed night.
You too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.